Hey guys, and welcome back to another Unfiltered Gamer after the campaign video, number whatever the heck number is in the thumbnail. Today I'm going to be covering 3 games, Cube Monster, Deep Shelf, and Barbaric. I'll cover probably just the Into the Lost Jungle of Barbaric. There are a few of them, so I'll just take one of the boxes. But what we do with this video is I show you 3 games that have come out after the campaign, games I have reviewed, and what they now look like in quality. I will not discuss really a lot of the how to play, any of that kind of stuff. This is mainly just to show you the component quality, and that way you can see the differences between my previous review of the game and what they look like now. And I'll give you a little bit of a kind of a review of what I thought about the game. So this is Cube Monster by Crazy Box, a game by Dor Sakai. It plays 1 to 4 players at 25 minutes a player, ages 13 and up, and this is a cube building, mechanically like engineering type of a game where you're kind of creating an engine by creating blocks, building blocks that are specific requirements in the game. This is really, really nice quality. The prototype was actually very nice, and now the game itself here is even better. You'll be getting your 4-player boards, no backside, just the front side, but they're about double thick. They're really nice quality with locations for your free cubes, your factory, your statues, marketplace, temple, and shrine, as well as a nice little explanation of how the game works and your character name here. You're gonna have your little monster board here, which is triple thick now with indentations on it for you placing your cubes, and your main game board here, which represents just like in the prototype, but obviously even nicer. Here we have the cubes that you're going to be traveling up along till you get to the top to worship the cube monster. The board is nice, works really well, pretty straightforward, great graphic design. You know where to place everything, where everything goes. And then you have the game's box. The insert is actually rather nice. It has a spot for everything in its place, and a place for everything, as well as, of course, this little the 4 different miniatures designed with the first player marker. Each of these characters is nice, high quality, and also has kind of a nice finish to them. It's kind of, they got a black finish, which is nice. A little added bonus for most games that don't usually do that, just kind of a gray. This has got that gray with a black finish. The characters are kind of already done. You'll have to actually paint them if you do not want to. A custom-made die. There's also indented as well. And a bag, a canvas bag, a nice canvas bag for you to place your cubes for the game Cube Monster. Works really, really well. Speaking of Cube Monster, and the fact that we have cubes and bags, you have bags of cubes. Quite a lot of bags of cubes, in fact. And all of these are really, really nice. High quality, large, thick cubes. They feel good to touch. They work well. Similar to the prototype, everything is done very well. And they give you extra cubes as well in case you lose any cubes, which in some people's cases you will. Then you have the cards for the game. The small cards, which represent the buildings, and the cubes you'll need in order to build the buildings, and then the stack of cards you'll be utilizing for the engine building aspect of the game. Overall, a really done set that has basically improved upon itself since the prototype in many, many ways. I love the box insert. I love the miniatures. I love the fact that each of the miniatures has its own area that you can kind of tell. You can like see the spaces they go in based on the indentation in the box. I know that some games do that and some games don't. This one does an excellent job of that, so that everything kind of finds its own place when you're placing stuff down for the game. Overall, this game here is really, really well done. I would say, as for expectations compared to what we got, I expected it to look at least as nice as the prototype, with a little bit of a nicer finish to it, a better box, that kind of thing, and this game over-delivered. It gave you a nice box, high quality components, nice thick boards, the nice beautiful miniatures with kind of the extra flash to them. And yeah, it did an excellent, excellent job. So if you like that prototype and you're going to see this finished product, this is a slam dunk win. The game, which I remember being fun, so I'm going to be jumping into it eventually here. We'll probably post something on either Instagram or we'll cover it in some small way. But overall, though, the quality of Cube Monster is great. If you're looking to pick this game up, there'll be a link down below. Next game. The next game here we have is Deep Shelf by Richard Keene, Ninth Haven Games. It's a 1 to 4 player game, 14 and up, and takes roughly 90 to 140 minutes, and that's pretty accurate. It's a pretty long game. The prototype for this was excellent. A really, really, really cool prototype, and I was very excited to see what it looked like after it was finished. And we got a copy to show you guys. Wow. Big box, really well done, nice and thick, protective box as well. And, oh, look at that. They're basically kind of the inserts, the plastic inserts that come separated so that you can use them for each and every player in the game. You have a resource box, And then you're going to have your player boxes that you can use. And you have all 5 different colors, along with everything that you need in order to play the game inside each of the boxes for each of the players. You'll have your rovers and your buildings, your scientists, your laboratories, all that good stuff, all fit into one. You're then going to have your rulebook. Wow. The rulebook for this game is spectacular, and of course a campaign aspect to it as well. When I played the original, I knew that there was a campaign, but I don't think I went through the campaign. I think I just played a few of the individual games. So now you have a full campaign to go through for Deep Shelf. Let's talk about the board too. Ooh-wee! Oh-wee! This board is phenomenal. Look at this board. Let me show you guys. When you open it up, you'll notice it's like quadruple thick. And the reason why is because you're going to be fitting in tiles in these locations. They're going to be kind of randomized tiles based on the depths of the water where you'll be going in for Deep Shelf. You're going to have these interesting extra spaces. I have the board upside down. Oh no, flip it over. The interesting extra spaces. For instance, the osmium, the kelp, the gold, the pallium, everything here is basically double thick with spaces to place your, not only your different buildings and your specific submarines, but also all the cards for the game and the events that will take place throughout the game. This board is fantastic. Really, really cool board. Only thing I suggest is be careful with how you hold boards like these, because if you're not careful, they will rip. They will rip because of they're like quadruple thick, and so you'll have the thickness kind of peel in and out of itself. So just be careful of the board. If you take good care of it, it will last you a long time. But all boards like that do that. Then of course you have the, I believe this is a scoring marker, the area for first place, second place is the way for final scoring and milestones, and it has both the 4-player side and the 1, 2, and 3-player side. Your bags here, these are cloth bags, not canvas, but still rather nice, and have the imprint for Deep Shelf on them. And then, oh, even more inserts. All of the tiles for the game, for the shallows and the deep waters, all the cubes you'll be utilizing for the game as far as resources goes, and the way in which you'll be kind of building upon yourself with your upgrades and how you upgrade your ship. This is the upgrade board, which has to be set up a specific way. So make sure you do check the rules or watch my video for where it needs to be set up for each of these guys here. Once it's all put together, nice and easy to remember how it goes back together again. And you'll also be using this board here as well for placing down your cubes for palladium, gold, and osmium. And it just continues from there. A bunch more boards, your faction boards, your victory point boards, each of the different spaces for all of your things you'll be utilizing in the game, and there's just a bunch more of them. What else do we have here? Expansion content. If you bought the all-in, you're getting this, basically. So I'm sure that the base game is a little different. These are the thick, beautiful coins that come with the game, and you have all 3 different types, gold, osmium, and palladium. And then you've also got this little miniature. The miniature that represents not only the monster, I think it's like a deep sea serpent, but also in which way it's pointing towards while it's moving around the game board. And it also has its own little kind of indentation for it, and customized dice as well. Just like in the previous game, they have different colored dice with different symbols on them, the pips representing them, cards for the event deck, as well as the monster. You have the exploitation events. Then you have the different campaign events in the game, and I believe there's some extra content as well regarding the scoring, like your player references, as well as the solo player mode, that kind of stuff. So you got a wide variety of extra stuff. And I think this is the little serpent, the one you're big in the regular game. This thing is... it's hard to say. When for games like Vindication, the first prototype I got, it was kind of like a generic light prototype to give you an idea of how the game's mechanics were going to be played, but not exactly how the quality was going to be done. This one set more higher expectations than that one, just due to the fact that the prototype was so nice. So what I was expecting to be delivered was something probably similar to this, just because of how nice the prototype was. So like if Vindication was like a 10 out of 10 for me game, and the quality of the game was like a 4, the 4 went to like a 10, right? So you have a 10 and a 10. And this one here, if this game was a 10 out of 10 for me, and as far as gameplay, and the quality was like a 6 or a 7, this has now gone to a 10 for quality as well. So it doesn't feel as strong, but it is as strong because they went and took the extra time to make a really, really nice prototype, which is great. A lot of people don't do that because prototypes are very, very expensive to make. So spared no expense to make this game look very, very nice, and the game does look very, very nice. It is really, really well done. It's obvious how really, really well done this game is. And yeah, I really do appreciate it when they put the time and effort into making sure the content for a game looks good. Obviously, there's a way to put all these things back together, and hopefully I do not miss too much. I want to kind of speed this along. And I don't think it's actually too difficult because everything kind of has its own place, all set aside for it. And you place your books on top, or behind, or on the bottom if you don't want them to get too shuffled up. But yeah, there you go. I actually fit it in perfectly. And the game fits all the way down to the bottom, which is nice. It doesn't have this little extra thickness to it on the back of the box here. Wow. Deep Shelf, what do I have to say? The game is a 10 or an 11 out of 10 as far as quality goes. It met and then exceeded my expectations. It had an extra content I wasn't expecting to have in it, the extra beautiful miniature, the design of the game. This is a labor of love game. It's obvious to see, and because of this though, whenever I see another game from Ninth Haven Games, I'm gonna have high expectations. Even if it's a small game, I don't expect it to be like, it's monstrous. Big does not necessarily mean like quality. It's just the quality put into this big game was so apparent that now I'm expecting some more good stuff from them. Overall, Deep Shelf, as far as the quality of the game, it gets a 10. Cube Monster gets a solid like 8.5, maybe even a 9. Both of these were really, really good. Last but not least, we have Barbaric. This one is the Into the Lost Jungle set. There are 3 of them, as well as a solo mode component upgrade pack that comes with 2 extra characters, and then of course you can get your own sleeves. There's a bunch of different little upgrades, like Kickstarter kind of exclusive stuff. I'm just going to talk about one of the games because there's so much content to this. This is kind of starting to make me feel like the next Mythic Games as far as quality and amount of components and gameplay. Barbaric is a game by Hexa House. They made Asylum, Escape the Dark Forest. I can't remember exactly what the text title underneath it's called, but it's Asylum they made. And with that game, I saw the prototype and it looked pretty cool. You know, like I say it straight like 4 or 5, which is a good average score for a prototype. And then they wowed me with the finished product, which I'll link below a video previously done to show you the finished product of that game. Holy hell. I was blown away just because of the differentiation between what I was expecting from a smaller publisher that I hadn't seen before and the quality previously to the quality afterwards. So when I saw Barbaric and they sent me the prototype for that one, obviously the prototype was a lot better from the success from the previous game. And this one here now, the finished Barbaric product is excellent. It's very, very good. This game is, I think it's 2 to 4 players. It's 1 to 4 actually as a solo mode. Obviously, I even said there's a component upgrade. Well, if you're not having that, then it's probably a 2 to 4 player game. 14 and up, 40 to 90 minutes. And that does sound about right. This is a tactical strategy game. It's like an arena combat style game utilizing a boss. You're playing as one of these characters here, and you can see that they're attached to different vehicles. And the vehicles are actually detachable with the characters. So if you want to play as Polenic, the Bard, and you want to play as Solaris, the spacecraft or whatever, you can actually take off the character and you can switch. You can say, I want to play as like this character here. You can twist it off, and then you pull it out, and then you place it into the next craft, and then you twist it on, and now you've got a new character on your craft. And you'll be able to there's boards in the game that come together. And actually I showed you guys this in the preview of the previous game's prototype. But for those of you who didn't see it, didn't watch the video, which probably a few of you out there I'm sure, these boards look like this. They come together like this, and you detach them, you put them together. This game requires that you put on these little dials here, which are actually very simple. It comes with the double thickness aspect to it, not only for quality of graphic design, but also for placement when it comes to HP, energy, shield, that kind of thing. The characters have their different stats and actions that are provided to you on the left and right hand side of their game board when you attach them, and you can switch them around throughout the games so that you can have kind of unique characters each and every time you play in this arena combat game, so that every game is going to be unique, and each of course the different characters have unique decks of cards which are associated with these skill cards here, which I also have the sleeves for. Beautifully, really, really well done aspect to the game. There is a little bit of paper in the game that explains that the miniatures might not come together with the bases of the vehicles, and in which case you have to like kind of put them in hot water and twist them. I didn't have to worry about that, and I'm in California, which is probably as far away as you can get with these guys, so I assume that probably that wasn't a huge deal, but might have happened for some of these guys. The board. Let's show the board. This is one of the game boards. There are 3 of them, as well as, of course, a player mat. I'm going to try and pull this out as best as I can. It's a big one. Oh, there you go. It's massive, right? This is basically going to have a middle spot for the boss. It's going to have spots for the different character starting spaces, which you'll be moving around, rotating your characters, and organizing them to defeat each other, and of course the boss. There's a co-op mode, there's a semi-cooperative mode, all kinds of stuff in this game. Then of course we have the bosses. Each of the boxes has their own bosses. This is the Into the Lost Jungle, which means that you have Morazan, the Ancient Keeper, which kind of looks like a large anaconda / like water serpent. And it's going to have, of course, its board, its double thickness and all that, and of course the character model to work with it. Overall, the quality of this game is 11 out of 11. It's one of those things, it's like, it doesn't get much better than this. The character models are excellent. The fact that the character models interact with each other to form new and interesting characters. It's a light deck builder of sorts where you have 2 decks, the character and the vehicle, which you put together, and now you have a unique new character, kind of like Smash Up, in which case it kind of adds to the twist of the game. Each of the monsters can be played interchangeably with each of the different games, and of course the monsters have their own unique minions, which you'll be fighting, and characters from previous games can switch with other characters, vehicles in this game. And you can switch up literally everything. If you have everything, it's a completely customizable arena combat style PvE, PvP style game. And man, I just love it. I love the quality, the attention to detail, the design, the fact that it adds things like the art book, which I went through and looked at all the beautiful art in the game. You could tell this was another labor of love. Just like Deep Shelf, it's just a huge labor of love that they really, really put the time and effort into making sure that this was a good game. Having a little idea of game design myself and quality, knowing the difference between some good quality stuff and some bad quality stuff, I can tell you that this didn't spare any expense. They really went all out. The character models and designs, the plastic used, everything is excellent. You can toss these guys around and you're not gonna have a problem. Even these little smaller pieces, I'd be very shocked if a whole lot of them came broken. And if they did, it was probably from the base points where they needed glue. So it might be a spot where like you have to re-glue some part that just didn't get glued on perfectly at the factory. But as far as the quality goes, excellent job. Artwork overall is beautiful. The game design, well, you can check my review for that, but everything else is really, really on point. I am now, once again, just like I previously said for the previous game that they made, from now on, gonna expect high quality content from these guys. I wanna see them keep the ball rolling. Doesn't have to be the next biggest game itself, doesn't have to have 3 different expansions and all that stuff. Just the quality, the design, the attention to detail, and the labor of love associated with a game like Barbaric, I'm really, really hoping to see, because damn, they did an excellent job. All 3 of these games did. It's nice, I get to talk about 3 games that really, really nailed it out the park. Well, there you go, 3 games for After the Campaign. A game that's kind of medium size, a large game, and then another large game that has 3 extra large games attached to it and some extra promotional material. I mean, these guys all really, really well done. Crazy Box, the guys Hexa House, and then these guys Ninth Haven Games. You guys really are on the right track. I love seeing high quality games. I love seeing attention to detail. I love seeing love put into the games. It's so obvious when the games get here and it's so apparent the quality of components and the just lack of detail, lack of care. And so these are just 3 great examples of really, really well done things that obviously show the creators of the game, designers of the game, really, really wanted to make a good game, make it look good, feel good, touch, everything but taste. I mean, maybe they taste good, I don't know. And all of them have amazing inserts. I didn't show you the insert for Barbaric, but trust me, it's good. They all have inserts. Yes, please, more inserts. If you don't have an insert for your game now, start adding them. They're 10 cents. I manufactured a game before. I know how much they cost. It's worth it. People do appreciate that, so that stuff isn't rolling around, especially really high quality components. It kills a game. Anyway, I'm done rambling. I'm just so enthralled by these creations. It's really, really great to see these games coming out from smaller creators, indie creators, newer big companies, all that kind of stuff. You know, could be a multi-million-dollar company making their first game, doesn't matter. The fact that they show up and they show up a really, really solid game, it shows that they care and that they're gonna keep making more games that they care about. And we need more of that in the industry. We need more games like these, and it's great. Okay, I'm done gushing. Thank you guys so much. Hopefully you guys see these things, thought they were cool. If you want to pick them up, if you've played them before, let me know what you think about it. I didn't want to discuss gameplay. Maybe they're all not 10 out of 10. Maybe there's a few like 6s or 5s in there or whatever. But I want to discuss quality components and care and love because it's a completely separate issue. It's almost objective how good quality these games are compared to how well they play. So yeah, anyway, that's it for my After the Campaign review. If you're interested in more videos like this one, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, the like button, blah, 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 blah. You know the deal. And of course, you can hit the, what was this other button? Oh, you can hit the links in the description so you can actually buy these games if you want. You can pick up, oh, I don't know, one of the Barbarics, or 3 of them, or all of them, I don't know, or the Deep Shelf, the base game, the really fancy version, and then of course there's Cube Monster. Anyways, that's it guys, I'm done. Have a great one, and I will see you guys next time.